this system in its use of numerology, symbolism and ritual, and all that is needed to realize this is a deeper understanding of the true nature of the universe and how we are all connected to it. However, this film directs its focus on the system itself and a key to this system functioning, which is through covert control of the money supply by very few people. It is crucial that people become aware of this issue because the methods by which society could free itself from this system of control are also very simple. Once a person has gained an understanding of the true realities of this world we live in, and this is not as difficult a task as you may at first think, because due to its complexities, the illusion the elite have created that most perceive as reality is a very fragile one. It is fragile because it is not reality. The reality is that the world does not have to be this way at all. It does not have to be heading in the direction that it is heading. People do not have to live in a never-ending sea of self-generating debt. Wars do not have to be fought, and children do not have to starve. And don't think people starve because the world is overpopulated. Don't believe what the television tells you. The world isn't overpopulated at all. In fact, let's look at it realistically with a simple comparison of population versus land mass, and we can do a rough estimate and formulate a quick hypothetical to demonstrate this very easily. There are approximately 6 billion people in the world, and there is 2.97 million square miles of land in the island continent of Australia. 2.97 million square miles breaks down to 1,900,800,000 acres, which then converts down to 7,603,200,000 quarter-acre blocks of land. So, we could hypothetically give every person in the world a quarter-acre block of land, and they would all fit into an area the size of Australia. Each would have enough land that they could all have gardens and grow a substantial supply of their own food, and we would still have 1,603,200,000 quarter-acre blocks, or an area roughly half the size of Queensland, left over, plus the entire rest of the world. Now just pause to let that sink into your brain for a second. All the people, that's every man, woman and child on Earth, would comfortably fit inside Australia. Each individual person could have a quarter-acre block of land, and we would still have half of Queensland and the entire rest of the planet left unoccupied. The world is not overpopulated at all. It is just very badly managed, and you need have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that this bad management is intentional and it is methodical. It would, however, be very simple to fix things, and all that is required is for people to wake up to how much they are being lied to and how much they are being scammed, and this goes for everyone. People really need to gain an understanding of how this system actually works, because this bad management is crippling the world and it is crippling the people. The methods that are used to do this become truly transparent once a person has gained a clear enough vision to see it, and people really do need to open their eyes and see it right now, because now that the world has been made smaller, and now that all the resources have been discovered and there are no frontiers left to conquer, the criminal elite intend to carry out a mass depopulation of this world. And their plan to do this is well underway. They are doing it in the Middle East with war, in countries such as Africa through starvation, and now in Western countries through water additives, aerial spraying, and through the introduction of toxic and nutrient-deficient genetically modified foods. And this is very soon to be taken to the next level with the global introduction of Codex Alimentarius, an insidious set of food guidelines that are due to come into effect worldwide on December 31st, 2009. But people are now beginning to wake up and realise that all is not right, and they are beginning to speak out. The police need to understand this situation and take action to address these matters as well, and this is very important, and there is no reason why the police should act against the people who are waking up and speaking out against this corrupt system, for the police are also being scammed, just as badly and in some ways even worse than everybody else. Worse because it is the police who are being coerced and tricked into defending this elitist corruption by puppet governments put in place by banksters who coerce these officers into compliance by adding creative names to such public awakenings, such as social unrest or civil disobedience, and by instilling a robot-like adherence to authority within the minds of police officers, rather than a strong set of moral values. The police in these cases should stand by the people they are sworn to protect, not blindly follow instructions given to them by criminal elites. The police need to realise that they too are the people, and they are being stolen from and used just as well. And the way to beat this system is for the people, the police and everybody else to simply stop agreeing with it. And also the politicians who bow to these corrupt money cartels and enact these ridiculous pieces of legislation, these politicians need to seriously think about what they are doing. They need to realize that these money cartels don't care about them or their families. These politicians have children and grandchildren who are also going to have to live in this world that is being created. And don't kid yourself that there's a politician in a position of power somewhere who isn't a puppet. All are puppets of the money cartels without exception. These people may well have been voted into power, but the voting process is simply theatre for the masses to promote the illusion of people's choice. The people may vote for one particular candidate over another, but they do not get to actually decide who these candidates will be to begin with. The people of the world need to realize their own potential and wake up from the dream that they are living in. Forget what you were told and trained to do by the TV, because it's a lie. TV is there to train people what to think and how to act. End of the list. It is nothing more than a tool of propaganda that has successfully brainwashed 95% of the Western world by feeding people manufactured news, disinformation, and giving people an utterly false perception of the world and of their relationship to each other. Turn your TV off and leave it off. After even a month of no TV, you'll be surprised at how much better and how much healthier you feel. It needs to be clearly understood by people everywhere that the elite only have the power over the people that the people themselves grant to them. So stop giving it to them. Stop doing what the TV tells you and stop complying with the system. Understand that there truly is no division among the people of the world. No matter who they are or where they are from, we are all people and we are all one. It is through the constantly promoted illusion of division that the system is able to function, but in order for it to do so, it needs public compliance. Stop complying and you will shut the system down. You will shut it down completely, because if people stop complying, it will simply implode. It will collapse like a house of cards, and all it would take for this to occur is global awareness of how it really works. We have reached a turning point in history, and the veil of secrecy that has always surrounded the Illuminati system is now at last being lifted. Now is the time for the people of the world to look after each other, and not the system. It really is that simple, and the world is almost on the verge of that happening now, because a new awareness is growing amongst the people. More and more are waking up every day, and they are spreading the word, as we all should do, as loudly as we can, because the masses who are still sleeping really must be woken up to what is occurring. There is quite literally nothing more important than this issue, and the plan goes even deeper than the international money cartels. There truly are deep and dark forces at work controlling things here, but it is through the manipulation of the money system that global control is maintained, and it is that system that must first be addressed. It's all very well for us to talk about all of this stuff and to continue learning and gathering more information about it, but the time for merely gathering information is now past. What is needed now is action, and it is needed very quickly because the prison door is swinging shut. Please understand that these people plan on depopulating at least 80% of the world, and that most likely includes you. This is not a joke, and this is not some wild conspiracy theory. It is the absolute truth, and this matter seriously needs to be addressed. All the information on how they intend to do this is available in the public domain, though of course you are not hearing it reported by the mainstream media, because the money cartels own the mainstream media. A great deal of information regarding this is posted on my YouTube channel, and I highly recommend that you view it and distribute it to as many people as you are able to, because the time for talk really is over. What is truly needed at this time is for the good people of the world to act, and to act now. The key is in love and unity amongst all mankind, because it matters not who you are, what country you are in, or where you are from. It makes no difference whether you are black or white or Christian or Muslim or Jew. It makes no difference at all what your beliefs are, because the prison that is being constructed affects every one of us equally. The world that we are allowing to be created for our children to live in is a world that will not be worth living in, and if we just allow the situation to continue along its current path, then we are condemning our descendants to a hell on earth. But we are many and they are few, and it simply must not be allowed to occur. It is time for the people of the world to stop and realize that the divisions that supposedly exist amongst us are an illusion. There is no division. It's time for everybody to understand the truth of this. It's time to approach the world and each other in a state of love rather than in a state of fear. It's time for you to tap into the source and realize your own potential. And it's time for us all to collectively stand together and address the root cause of the problem. and all of you need to spread this information. It's very important that you do. Burn DVDs and hand them out to people. Bring the conversation up at every opportunity. This issue is too important to ignore, and if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. There's simply no middle ground here. Bring all the truth factions of the world together under one banner, the banner of human unity. Set aside your differences and work out the finer details later. Regardless of who or what is the ultimate intelligence behind this plan for global control, everyone needs to understand clearly that the fascist New World Order that is being introduced and the mass depopulation that is occurring across the globe is being implemented by the criminal banking elite. The money system is the head of the snake. Cut the head off the snake and the rest will wither and die. The time for talk is over and the time for action has come. It's now time for the people of the world to stop complying with the system. Everyone, stop complying with it and you will shut it down. And the best form of non-compliance is love. Approach every issue with love, rather than obediently following orders given to you by a commanding officer, and rather doing what is right for you personally. Do what is actually right. And if a leader wants to send you to war, say, "No sir, I won't murder other people's children for you anymore, you'll have to go and do it yourself." You will be called a coward by the military, but such is not the case, because it's much easier to fight for principles than to live up to them, and it takes a far braver man to stand up for what is right and spit in the face of authority than it does to blindly follow orders due to fear of the consequences. Understand that we are all one, and the key to real change and unity in this world lies with love. There need be no violence, no guns, no banners, no slogans, no groupthink, just a united act of global non-compliance. Non-compliance for anything in conflict with the directives outlined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights would be a good start. Simply stop giving these people the power to control you. Understand that the only power they have is the power that the people give them. Understand that injustice towards one is injustice towards all. Injustice towards him is injustice against you, and there should be no grey area in your mind in regards to that. Everyone needs to stop going along with it, and it needs to be done immediately. It's time to cut the head off the snake. The revolution is not coming. The revolution is now.